All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our City Council meeting here today on September 3rd, 2024. We are going to begin with our invocation today. Okay, so this evening we are honored to have Pastor Suman Kim from the Korean SDA Church lead our invocation. Sir, if you'd please come to the podium. Pastor Kim has served the Norwalk community for a year and a half. Though he resides in Anaheim, his deep connection with Norwalk is unwavering. Under his leadership, his 20-year-old church has experienced remarkable growth. They have connected with the community through their new Instagram page. Recently, their potluck video went viral, attracting more people and expanding their congregation. Pastor Kim is inspired by the collaboration between Korean and English-speaking members, which has opened new doors for Korean churches and strengthened ties with the city. He and the pastors lead a vacation Bible school for the elderly of the community. In addition, he is working on forming partnerships with Cerritos College, while also aiming to support the local fire stations through donations. Thank you, Pastor Kim, for your dedication to our community. Everyone, please stand. Pastor, when you're ready.
Let us bow our heads for a prayer. And dear Heavenly Father, thank you for another beautiful day and for helping us to glorify you through the meeting of City Council. You have created us all beautifully, and when we gather together, you have called us to be a beautiful church. We ask that you grant us the same promise to us again today. And grant us, and especially the mayor, council members, the wisdom and knowledge, and help them to make the right decisions today that will bring people in Norwalk closer to a loving God. And there are many people who pray for and serve in the city, and we ask that there will be no shortage in their giving and serving. And that just as you poured your miracles on the man with their bread and fish, you will once again pour out your miracles on us, so that we may share your love with those who need them. Your return is now drawing us near, so help us to rely on our efforts and your power today, so that when you return, we will all be standing on your side, and so that you will say to us, that well done, my good and faithful servant. And we all pray in Jesus' name, and we all want to say, Amen.
City Council meeting. Your faith and guidance make our community a better place. And the pastor and his wife are expecting their first baby.
Let's go in a little bit more this side. Thank you. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations, Pastor. Awesome.
Pastor, I'm so happy to hear that your congregation is growing and prospering. Blessings to you as well. Okay, next we have our flag salute, and we have Jonah Nunez. Do you want to come up to the podium there, buddy, while I introduce you? Okay, Jonah, I'm going to read a little bit about you real quick, okay? All right. Jonah is a third grader at Dolan Elementary School in Mr. Vernon's class. His favorite part about Norwalk is being able to make friends at his local school, go to church, and he enjoys eating. Jonah is certainly keeping active on his spare time. He recently started jiu-jitsu and enjoys it very much. His favorite color is blue and loves Sonic the Hedgehog. One day, he would like to own 2 ice cream trucks, nice, and play Sonic music. Oh, everybody loves ice cream. Thank you, Jonah, for joining us this evening and leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, sir. I love it. Okay, Jonah, whenever you are ready, we're waiting on you, buddy. Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. Go.
Put your right, please stand up. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Oh, okay, come on. Oh, come on over here. This is for me, buddy. I am so excited to hear that you were ready. Okay, Jonah. So first, yes, how about Mr. Rick over here? Councilman, put that for you. Okay, Jonah, here we go. On behalf of the City of Norwalk, thank you for reciting the Pledge of Allegiance during our September 3rd, 2024 City Council meeting. Thank you, and let's give them another round of applause. Here. Jonah, over here. We're going to take pictures.
Hold on, yes, yes. Okay, over there, yeah. So you can hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, here we go. More kids. Next plan.
Thank you, guys.
There's a lot of it. Yes. All right, you guys take care.
Roll call, please.
Council members Perez.
Here?
Ramirez.
Here.
Valencia.
Here.
Vice Mayor Ayala.
Here.
Mayor Rios.
Here. Okay, City Council comments. Today we will, closed session report.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. The record should reflect the City Council convened for closed session for the 2 items that were announced prior to recessing into closed session, and all 5 members are present. And the following is my report. Under conference with real property negotiators, that item was presented to the City Council. There was no final action taken, and there's nothing further to report. On item 2, conference with legal counsel, the one item of anticipated litigation, the City Council received a briefing on that matter also, but no action was taken, and there's nothing required to be reported at this time. Madam Mayor, that concludes my report from closed session. It is appropriate to continue with the open portion of the meeting.
Okay, thank you to our city manager. Our city council comments, and we'll begin this evening with Councilmember Perez, Jennifer Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Really quickly tonight, it is our bulletin season. Our bulletins are out this week, so grab your bulletin, whether it's at the Senior Center or Social Services. Norwalk Now is out. The month of September is going to be filled with celebrations, so please make sure you're following all of our social media posts, all of our calendars, and special events coming up. And please, the next couple days as we reach triple-digit temperatures, we do have cooling centers here in the city of Norwalk. Please watch out for your neighbors, watch our pets, stay hydrated, and do your best to stay cool. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Council Member Rick Perez. I'm sorry, Ramirez. Ramirez.
No, but anyway, no comment today. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Ramirez. Council Member Ana Valencia. Thank you. All right. Wednesday, August 21st, I had the pleasure of attending the California Contract Cities Meeting and Awards at the LA Arboretum, and our own council member Jennifer Perez, who is the president of the California Contract Cities, was there, and lots of our staff members, and we had such a beautiful decorated table, and I guess there was a contest going on, and it was really nice, and I thought we should have gotten first place, right, Alan? We should have, and in all our minds, it was there. Unfortunately, the powers that be over there didn't quite think so. We had 3 people dressed up as mariachis, and then they had like a little what's that called when they take the picture and they that little, what is that called? I'm not sure, but they had something there, and then the table was decorated, and they won first place. But it was hot. It was one of the hottest days that we've had so far. It dressed in those mariachis, my God, they deserved it just because they were like that. It was amazing. But it was a really nice event, and I got my award for having completed the city council and sheriff's academy, and that was really, that was just very touching to me. It took some commitment on our parts. There were several of us from several cities, but we really felt the fruits of our labor that evening because we had the undersheriff there, and a lot of our friends and colleagues cheer us on, and it was great. And Peggy said she's gonna proudly put it up in my office as well. Thursday, the next day, we had the Community Listening Center at the senior center, and that was really, it was a nice event. We had our directors there, and we had our city manager. Obviously, our mayor was there. We had some. It was a nice group of people there. Had a lot of positive things to say. Some questions as well. So it was fruitful conversation. So thank you, Ozzy, for also being there and for answering some of those questions. And then on Monday, August 26th, I had a Zoom meeting with some of the Women of Hope, Hispanas Organized for Political Equity. And we talked about just many different things that they're working on, projects, whatnot, and they were very interested in, I guess what they're doing is talking to city council members about how we can partner up with some of the projects that they're doing, as well as suggest that we have more Latinas as commissioners and in other positions of leadership. And then on, what was this, Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? I don't know, it was August 27th. I met with young lady Giselle of the organization WELL, WELL, and that is basically a water education group that really wants to educate the council members, mayors, what have you, on the importance of water. And of course, we already know that, but there's some intricacies. And I've learned that, and I know that Mayor Rios, from her prior experience with CWAC, that there are so many intricacies with water and how it comes down to our homes and in our faucets, and as well as the bottled water that we drink. So many, and so she was very interested in getting us more involved in going to those trainings, orientations, and really great things happening. So she's going to send me some info, and I will definitely pass it on to my colleagues. And that's all I have for today. Thank you. Thank you. Vice Mayor Tony Ayala.
No comments tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I want to welcome everyone again to our meeting this evening, our city council meeting today, September 3rd, 2024. The year is going by super, super fast. Welcome to September. As was already mentioned, we're going to have a hot week, so hopefully you do what you can to try to stay cool. If you work indoors, please stay indoors. If you have a neighbor who's an elder, please check up on them, and also please remember to be kind to your pets and keep them hydrated and out of the hot weather as much as you can. I had the opportunity to recently, along with our city manager and city staff, tour the CYA, California Youth Authority, has been closed for several years. The tour kind of was twofold. We wanted to, because we get complaints occasionally from the neighbors regarding overgrown vegetation, etc. We wanted to make sure that we were mindful of doing what we could to make the state aware of the concerns, and hopefully motivate them to keep the area clean. And secondly, one of the questions I'm often asked about is, what's going to happen there at the property. And so it was nice to get a visual tour of the location and just talk about the future of what that facility, that location will look like. So I want to thank staff for making the time and organizing that tour with the state, and giving us access on that day. The other thing that I wanted to mention was there's so many positive things going on this year. The year's not over yet, so please remember to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and check our website occasionally or as often as you can to find out about the different events and information. A lot of information is posted there, so please stay informed and learn about all the great things happening in Norwalk. And that's all I have for this evening. We will continue with this meeting. Again, welcome everyone here. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Our special presentation today, we are going to proclaim September as National Preparedness Month in the city of Norwalk, and I have some information I'd like to share with you all. Tonight we gather to recognize and proclaim September as National Preparedness Month. This month is dedicated to raising awareness about being prepared for emergencies and disasters. It's a time to focus on planning and ensuring that our community is ready to handle various situations. By coming together, we encourage everyone to take proactive steps to keep their homes, families, and neighborhoods safe. That's why the City of Norwalk is proud to proclaim September as National Preparedness Month. This aligns with the city's commitment to establish the safety and resilience of our community. Preparedness enhances the quality of life for all residents by reducing risks and fostering a sense of security. Today we have the City of Norwalk's emergency management team with us. The team has been dedicated to training and empowering residents to respond effectively in emergencies. Their efforts help ensure that our community is ready and resilient in the face of any challenge. Thank you, team, for your contributions to our community's safety and preparedness. Please come up to receive a proclamation from us and take a few photos. Let's give them a round of applause. And we really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. The outreach has been going very, very well. I know you are out at pretty much all of our different events in the city, right? And you guys have information for the community. You're available to answer any questions from residents. So we really appreciate all the efforts that you guys have been doing this year so far. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Just take one step to either right. My right, your left. All right, there we go. Perfect. Okay, everyone ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do it one more. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may add a little bit more to the award that was just given to our EOC. Excuse me. You know, they did receive a Listo grant last year. They met their goal of reaching out to over 15,000 people. But more importantly, Richard and Jasmine and the team have been able to save the city over $2,000 in training fees, who otherwise would have been having to go outside to teach other people. So that was an important milestone. So I just wanted to make sure that did not go unnoticed.
Thank you all so much. And city manager comments, turning it over to Jesus.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The first thing that I'd like to announce is that the social services is opened and ready to be a cooling center this week. And so with that, if we can get that information out on social media, we will have not only the senior center, but the social services center. So we're happy to have that on perfect timing for this heat wave that's coming our way. Next, we have Mr. Levy, who will present our city website redesign update, and he's our Director of Public Affairs. With that, Levy.
Thank you, Jesus. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight, I am excited to give you an update on the website redesign and what the community can expect. Does this look familiar? That's our current website. When launched in 2014, the current website was great at addressing tablet and desktop users. And the content that's on the website is there for people to find. But what has changed so that 10 years later after the launch, we need a redesign today? A couple key metrics here. First, the mobile traffic has increased dramatically from about 31% to 67% of all traffic to our current website. That points to a more mobile-centric world that we live in now. Also, a majority of visitors do not actually land on our homepage first, which surprised me when I saw the metrics. And coupling that with a majority of visitors find us through search engines. This all indicates that people are bypassing the homepage completely and going directly to the sub-pages or department pages where they can find resources and services. Now, this doesn't mean that the homepage has become irrelevant at all, no. The homepage is still the first impression for thousands of people who visit our website. And in my opinion, the homepage carries with it the digital legacy that previous websites foundations provided. Now, I always like to think of websites as a digital garden that is always growing, always changing, and our goal with the website is to improve the accessibility and service delivery while staying on top of technology. This is like a gardener who would change the layout and care for plants based on how they thrive best. And so, with the next version of our digital garden is here. Welcome to the redesign. You're looking at the top portion, or what's called above the fold of the homepage. The website overall is now simplified. It addresses the gap in the current design. It's inclusive, accessible, and functional. It's a platform that's easy for staff to update and even easier for visitors to navigate so they can find what they need quickly. Now let's take a look at some of the key features that people have requested and can expect to see in the new redesign. First, one of the key features of the design will be its modern, responsive design. This means that the website will automatically restructure the entire page, photos, images, text, videos, to any screen size. What this means is that all devices, new and old, will work with this website. Based on feedback from a resident survey and more, we've organized each department's landing page to be much more efficient. People are no longer faced with a wall of text where they have to pinpoint and look for a tiny little blue line to click a link. Each section is designed to serve a specific purpose, from providing vital city updates to resources people can use now. To go deeper to what I just showed you, we've added quick links to each department's landing page so residents can access important information faster. Again, it's not to bog them down with a lot of text. They see the image, they see the text, they click on it, it takes them exactly where they want to go. Another often requested feature is a community calendar. Every department now has at least one website liaison who is responsible for keeping the calendar updated. By keeping our community informed about upcoming events, this will foster engagement and help everyone stay connected. Now, this is another exciting development that I find to be most important. We've improved the search feature, which will help residents find exactly what they're looking for without having to slog through all those web pages. Now, how does this differ from other agencies or our current website? For one, we do not solely rely on Google to provide the search results. Let's say you're typing in pay license. Before, you're looking at about 20 to 30 different search results from Google, and you never know which one is which. You might click on one that's a 2018 PDF, another one that might lead to another site or another web page. But with this curated search, our website liaisons can dictate exactly what they should see. So if they type in pay license, this is what they'll see instead of a really drawn out search result. This puts the amount of time it takes for people to search for what they want down to a lot less time. The redesign of the update will continue to offer multilingual support. And with the responsive design of the website, it completely opened the door for increased accessibility options. Yes, before we can still change the font size, but now we can control contrast. They can control and personalize their own experience on the website to how they see fit. And this works really well with screen readers as well. Here is a quick overview of the redesign timeline. We started back in 2023 in January with the RFP. We kickstarted the work in summer. And because we had more than 600 pages and even more documents to sift through as a city, we made sure to be careful with what we kept and what we purged. At the end of the day, we are still on track for a mid to October launch for this redesign. Now, before we have staff hit that big red launch button, we will continue to work on the web pages in each department. We'll also conduct tests with users to make sure the website continues to function smoothly. We'll also prepare the community with plenty of notifications with all different forms of communication channels, from print to digital. Now, how will we know the website is working well? That was my biggest question for all the vendors that answered that RFP. Because I know that you can't just measure the success of a website in puppies and sunshine and feel good feelings. You need solid metrics. What we'll do is continue to monitor traffic analysis along with key metrics on a monthly basis. I've asked the vendor to join us in making sure that they audit the health of the website on a quarterly basis, and we'll continue to run our community survey annually to determine if there are any changes in the community's needs. In closing, our website is a platform that serves as a critical resource and will meet the City Council strategic plan goal number 1 of delivering high quality customer service. I would like to thank the nearly 50 employee website liaisons who are working diligently on this website. We're excited, I'm excited, about the redesign and look forward to launching this for our community. Thank you for your support, and I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Levy, the only question that I have, and I just want to make sure, is there a prominent section that on the website that'll have a direct link to the Norwalk Connects app?
Yes, there will be. Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure, because that's one thing we constantly hear, like, I don't have the app, but can I report this? And just want to make sure that that's available to our residents as well.
Yes, on the homepage, one of the key buttons will say report an issue. It's the second button there next to the agendas. They click it. Right away, they'll get promoted to the Norwalk Connects app.
Wonderful, thank you.
Levy, can you go back to the homepage? Okay. All right. I know that I'd given some feedback just
Yes.
based on looking at other. So we have how do I government, department services, residents, businesses. Residents. So instead of community, we're using residents for the verbiage. I mean, I know it's still a work in process, but I'm just kind of wanted, just since we're doing the presentation, to kind of give some feedback.
Correct. We opted to change to resident just so that people can see that it's directly their target audience. Because if you just say community as a whole, people may assume that it's possibly for partners, agency partners. We want to make it clear that that's a residents tab, just for residents.
Okay. And then on the bottom, so we have the agenda, report an issue. Would that be the same thing as a request service?
Correct. And that will lead straight to the Norwalk Connects app and other related service requests they can submit.
Okay, permit application, no transit services, no municipal code. So where would someone, because I think, and I'm glad that we're finally doing this, it's definitely overdue, but I know when we were talking about, as friendly, access friendly as possible, and some of the bigger items that people, ask for, have been asking for is, the online permits, how to report an issue or request service. They ask about the different, municipal codes, how do they research, what are the Muni codes in Norwalk, what are they, for example. So are you still looking at other buttons that maybe would make it accessible so that a user can actually find, go to a button that's a direct link that takes them straight there? Because I think the current issue is that it's really hard to navigate because you got to go here, then you got to go there, and then you're not sure if it's this, and then so people get kind of lost, right? The user gets a little confused and lost.
Absolutely. And that is why we made sure that the square buttons on the bottom can be changed at any given time depending on the current needs of the city. We do have analytics that do show that one of the top visited pages is fares and schedules for transit. So that will appear as one of the top 4. And then also the search bar at the top right, if they were to start typing in transit or fares, they'll immediately get that pop-up that takes them directly to where they need to go without having to do the drop-down, which can, as you said, be overwhelming for some users.
Okay, and the other thing I was going to ask about is is there going to be an area where we share information on news and on current events besides the calendar? Because I know I think it'd be great to use our social media platform to share more about Norwalk news.
Absolutely. This is just the top or above the fold of the homepage. As they scroll down, they'll hit the calendar and they'll have a news section.
Okay.
And that will allow us to expand more on some of the great accomplishments we're doing here in the city.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all I have for now. Thank you, Levy.
I'd just like to make a couple comments. It's going to be, for me, I think what's really important is the search function, how that works, because currently, and it has been for a while, sometimes when you search something, you get a lot of confusing material come up, and so I think that's going to be important to be, clean on. The other thing I don't know what it is currently, but I know for many years, like when I was here, people were getting mixed up between what was a county function, what was a city function. So people would contact us for marriage license, death certificates, stuff like that. How are you going to divert people to get them to go and contact the county instead of us?
That is an excellent point, Vice Mayor, because in looking at our info center foot traffic, about half of the people that come to info center or call info center are looking for LA County Recorder's business.
So that's still happening then.
But with the website, because of the curated search, if they start typing into the search function marriage license, DBA with the county, we can show that result and link them directly to the LA County Recorder's office, and even show a link to the address so they can navigate there, rather than having to, so they don't waste their time coming here to City Hall and then going over to LA County Recorders. I'm trying to cut down that frustration for them.
Yeah, that's really good, because I know that gets confusing for people, and they use Norwalk City Hall synonymously with County Registrar Recorder's Office, and people get upset because they come up here and they have to park in our lot, and then they have to get their thing validated because they can't just walk over there. They have to drive over there, and it's just, if you can alleviate that,
yes,
that's great. But that's one of the main things I want to see, though, is how well that search inquiry works, because I know a lot of people will go directly to that before they start scrolling through a bunch of stuff to see if they can find it. So, okay, very good. I know at least Jennifer, Marguerite, and I, we've been talking about doing this since we got elected in 17. We had some false starts and so on and so forth, but to see this finally happening is really good. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. It's very exciting to see this coming out, and I love the fact that departments are going to be able to access and put in information as well. That way, they don't have to submit. I think the former way of doing things is they submit it to whomever is putting the website together, and then they have to wait. But if there's things coming up and exciting and what have you, it's great that departments are able to put in their information. That way we can inform our community that much faster and with that much more information, I might add. I love that we already have some of our city services in place on the website, and to advertise them more is going to be great. So I like the look. I like the videos that are coming out. It's not just a picture of something. It's a continuous, like a video of some sort. It gives it a more welcoming feel to it. So congrats. I can't wait to navigate our new website. Thank you.
Thank you, Levy. Jesus?
Yes, first of all, I want to thank Levy as the Director of Public Affairs. He's been leading the team, and it's throughout the organization. So it's been a great project to bring information and how we deploy information I think it's really critical in today's time, specifically where people want quick information, and so I think that was one of the goals for the team to be able to prepare our website for today's time and swiftness of information delivery. So, Levy, thank you very much. Appreciate it for leading the team. Great work. Thank you. Next, we have our bi-weekly review video. For those who were not able to attend events, please take note. Lots of fun is happening.
Introducing all kinds of artwork to the community, the Mary Paxson Gallery recently showcased Nancy Schreiber-Smith's exhibit, Looking Back While Moving Ahead, on August 23rd. Join us for the next one. On August 26th, the McDonald's on Imperial Highway had its digital re-grand opening. Did you know there are 12 ways to order at McDonald's? Download their app to learn more. To help raise awareness about blood donation, the City of Norwalk's Social Services Center hosted a Red Cross blood drive on August 27th. Your blood donation helps save lives. On August 29th, the Norwalk Senior Center held its end-of-summer bash. Participants enjoyed an evening of dance, food, and unforgettable memories. We look forward to seeing you at a variety of special events this fall.
Mayor City Council, this concludes my comments. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our consent calendar, we have items 1 through 5.
Move it.
Second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Council members Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ayala,
Aye.
Mayor Rios.
Aye. Are there any appointments to advisory bodies this evening, Council? Colleagues? No? Okay. We are now moving on to our oral communications. I have a couple of cards here. Thank you. Okay, let's start this evening. We have Charles from SEIU Local 721. Welcome.
Honorable Mayor, thank you for having me tonight. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me tonight, Honorable Mayor and Vice Mayor. It's good to see you as well. I've become a familiar face at the board meetings for Siaka and for the rest of you on the City Council here in Norwalk. Last time I was here speaking before your body was back in May, and we're back tonight, not to say that the problems with the Southeast Area Animal Control Agency are still bad. They've actually gotten worse. A number of workers have left the agency since the last time that I was here in May. And when I was back in May, I was mentioning and shining a light on the fact that we are at the table. SEIU Local 721 represents the incredible folks for Siaka. It's a relatively small bargaining unit, about 35, but for the size and the work that's performed by the agency, it's absolutely insurmountable, the services that are provided. But we have a serious problem, and we're back before Norwalk tonight because of the incredible role that you all can play with the staffing crisis that Siaka has. I think you all know the vital role Norwalk has as a founding city for Siaka. You, Pico, and Downey joined together back in 1975. The agency's been around for 49 years. You've got 14 cities in total that are serviced by Siaka. Right now, you have only 9 ACOs that are at Siaka that are there to provide services when the agency itself has 24/7 contracts with 14 cities, and you only have 9 ACOs. Right now, as I speak, you've got 360 work orders, residents calling in from one of the 14 cities, including Norwalk, saying we need help, we need services. They can't get tended to because of the staffing shortage. Now, the problem with Siaka is the fact that we have a serious staffing issue that we as this union want to utilize the MOU negotiations of us being at the table to actually create change. The budget that Siaka has this year is greater, $600,000 more in this budget this year for Siaka than last year. And the money that we're talking about at the table is only 15% of that budget. So we understand that there are always going to be concerns about whether or not there is enough money. What we're saying tonight is that what we're asking for to shine a light on is the fact that there is a staffing problem when you've got veteran employees who've been with Siaka for 13 years and aren't even making $21 an hour. The fact that you showcase the California Fish Grill, you showcase the grand opening, the re-grand opening of McDonald's, and anyone can leave Siaka now. We've got a third of our workforce in Siaka that doesn't even make $17 an hour. It is embarrassing. And the budget of Siaka, they have $600,000 more this year than they did last year. And so we're asking for the vital services that are provided. The Norwalk residents that call Siaka, that drive down to the shelter. The Norwalk residents that show up on a Saturday for spay and neuter services, and heaven forbid somebody's turned away, as has been the case, as is a fact, people get turned away because of the staffing shortage. You're down there for spay and neuter. I'm not here by myself. I got some of our incredible folks that work for the agency that are here tonight. We're asking for your help. These are incredible services that are performed by the workforce, but we do need change. And we're asking for a light to be shined and for change to happen. And we're going to keep going to the council meetings until we can get these workers to do right by these workers. And with that, I hope everyone had a wonderful, happy Labor Day weekend. And thank you so much for your time. And God bless Norwalk.
Thank you, Charles. Can you leave the city clerk your contact information, please, before you leave? Thank you. Lisa, SEIU 721.
Hello, good evening. I am Lisa Luna. I'm a veteran of Siaka for almost 15 years, one of the last few remaining. There are numerous complaints from the public how understaffed we are. Where is management? Why is it too hot in the kennels? Why are there so many sick dogs? Why are the dogs not getting fixed during adoptions? These are the same questions I've asked myself and management. It's been a revolving door of employees, multiple veterinarians. I have been through 3 executive directors. I encountered countless animals interacting and socializing for the sake of the animal, adopter, and rescue. I am everywhere. I endure unsanitary conditions and daily safety hazards. Despite breaking up an intense dog fight and got the wind taken out of me, there was no concern for me or the dog. I've already experienced retaliation, losing opportunities because I spoke to management regarding the facility's conditions. I was negatively labeled and dismissed. Management continues to get raises and has free medical. Minimum wage went up. Longevity shouldn't be the only thing we have to look forward to. Calls are going to keep getting unanswered due to staffing, putting the community at risk, and new hires are going to continually train each other. With the cost of living, doing the work of multiple people, and getting no support from management, it has taken a toll on all of us. We work long hours, barely making ends meet. We have been in contract negotiations for way too long with minimal movement. All we are asking for is for your support in reaching a fair agreement with Siaka. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not sure if it's Michael or Michelle. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Council. Thank you for the opportunity to start a dialogue. I'm also coming up on 15 years that I've worked at Siaka, and we currently have the lowest number of staff members out of that entire 15 years. It's about half what it was when I started. You might ask, if it's that bad, why do you stay? I'll tell you a story. In 2014, one of my jobs was to trace some microchips. There was a cat who had been in the shelter more than 30 days with no interest in being adopted, and no owner had come forward. The cat was scheduled to be euthanized. Before that happens, they always scan again for a microchip. They found one. So the microchip was not registered. The information was relayed to me. One of my duties is tracing microchips, and I proceeded to do that. I found that the chip had actually been implanted at Siaka, or Siaka was listed as the purchaser of the microchip. The chip had been designated to a program, the Big Meow, spay and neuter for cats, and the implanter had been one of the veterinarians providing the surgery. The veterinarians did not always keep records of the microchips and the owners, so they didn't have any way to find the owner of this cat. So one of the things I did to try to find it was to go through all of the surgery request forms that the owners had filled out. The number of forms was, well, we had about 5 binders, about 4 inches thick, and the numbers are not chronological. I went through these, I found the form for this cat and got owner information. I called the owner, didn't reach anyone, left a message, and prepared a letter to send in the mail. The next morning, before 9 a.m., the owner was already there claiming her cat. I saved a life that day. That feels really good. I've had many opportunities to do similar things, and somebody has to be there for these animals that can't speak for themselves. And a lot of owners don't know how to go about registering their microchip, how to claim their animal. They don't even know to look at SIACA for an animal. That's why we're there. That's why we stay. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Tyndall?
Hi, Council and staff. Thank you for finding the cat. So, it's hard to follow that. I got distracted. I'm sorry I missed the presentation on the new website. I'm very excited about that. Thank you for all the staff effort that's been put in on that. I know that it's a long time coming, and you guys have done a lot of research on that. One thing I'd like to see, if it's possible, I know other cities have it, is a way to send meeting agendas without having to go to the website to find them. So if there's a bunch of random commissions and stuff like that, you don't have to check it every single time. You can just get an email to you, and you can see if there's something that is interesting to you that you need to come and speak about. And I have time, so we're going to talk about trees. I sent you guys a couple of real quick PDFs showing the diversity of tree population in the city according to West Coast Arborist. This is important because you want to have diversity. So if there's a pest or disease that comes through part of your inventory of trees, you don't lose all of them. So that's why it's important to have a lot of diversity. Currently, crepe myrtle, which is blooming right now, makes up 12%, and fern pine makes up 13%. So that's a little bit high. So it's something to think about when you're making your list for approved trees. And something down at the very bottom here is a map of all of the trees in Norwalk. I sent a link for being able to find that on a website. It's actually really cool. You can go through and find your tree if you'd like. But what that shows, I came from Monrovia, and environmental inequality is a buzzword that everybody has, and the northern section of the city had like 40% coverage, and the southern portion of the city only had 10. And what this map shows is that Norwalk is awesome, and you have really, really even tree distribution. If you look east a little bit to Santa Fe Springs, it's a ghost town. That's one of the reasons that we did not look at moving there. And so that makes the problem of reaching residents a little more difficult, because you can't target one specific area that needs trees, and putting a published thing in the Norwalk newspapers doesn't reach quite as efficiently. So I would ask if staff or council have any good ideas on how to reach residents and encourage them to put more trees in on their own property and request trees from the city. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Pocky? Pocky?
The Tongan Christian Tongan king gave of his kingdom, his people, his islands, ocean, river, lake, whatever. to God, gave it to God for protection of our people. And you know what happened? No European country occupied the island. None. But before that, we occupy all kinds of islands in land. South India and all those Vietnam, Vietnam. You find Polynesian long before Columbus, all over. Why did Genghis Khan until they had Polynesian? Let me tell you, we learned something from our king. You know, there's a saying, don't be dishonest with property and land or whatever. If dishonest, it will turn into poison. It will destroy your farm, it destroy your house. That's what's going on in China. That's what's going on in China today. The Middle East. Jehovah gave the country to the Israelites. They say it was Allah who gave it to the Palestinians. And the people told Moses, don't go through our land. Moses complained to God, to Jehovah. They don't want us to go through, right? They don't want us to go through. And what did he say? Jehovah said, don't go there. I already gave it to them. Go around. But when they get to Jerusalem, he helped them destroy Jerusalem. Jericho and those people. Jehovah. And they have this God, it's not at all Jehovah at all. None. I don't know where they found that guy, you know. But I'm trying to tell you, our ancient history point, they are our family over there. You don't know what's wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? They will never win the war against Jerusalem because God is not dishonest. He's not an American Indian giver. You can have it, but next year I'll give it back. They will never, that Muslim, they will never have Jerusalem. That's all I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? I got 10 minutes. Let me try to remember something. It's over. Thank you.
Okay, Pablo Luna?
Hello, good evening to all. And well, one of my concerns right now, first of all, I love Norwalk. Yeah, I grew up in Linwood. Linwood was my family, but my wife didn't like Linwood. We moved to Norwalk, and now we're in love with Norwalk. We are business owners in Norwalk, and we just bought our first property in Norwalk as well. So we're in love with Norwalk. But I've noticed for the past 2 months, I've been calling every day, every evening to public safety. One of our toughest situations that we got going on, especially where we have one of our locations, is the homeless situation. Nowadays, it's so sad that I gotta close my business. I operate 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days throughout the whole year. We don't rest. We don't rest because we have a necessity to build more of what we have done, not only for my family, but for our community. But keeping my doors locked every day, it's hard now for my business, you know, especially with the homeless situation on 12842 Norwalk and Pioneer, right in the corner in front of Goatville. In the mornings, every time we open our business, there's homeless people sleeping there. Throughout the day, there's a lot of drug activities that are going on there, and it's bad. I've heard comments from our customers, especially the moms, looking outside and they see a homeless doing drugs. You know, it's sad. It breaks my heart. You know, not only for my business, but for the city. You know, I feel that we need to do more. The homeless situation is getting out of control. You know, like I said, and not only where we have our location, but also where we have our property, our home. We live on close to the San Gabriel Canal, and every night, same thing. Homeless, it's just getting out of control. It frustrates me that I can't really do much. I try my best. I'm a recovered addict. I was an addict for 11 years, but God has changed my life. I talk to the homeless people. I give them good advice. I try to send them to inpatient programs that I tell them I pay out of my pocket. But as long as you stay out of the street, I want to create a program also for after-school kids so that they don't see all that stuff when they get out of school. Because being an addict is not easy, because you don't only hurt yourself, but you hurt your family and the community, So I'm here begging to you guys. We got to do something with the homeless situation. It's getting out of control. Thank you.
Thank you. Pablo, please don't leave without making contact with Mr. Ramos. He will resolve the situation. And with that, I'd like to wish everyone a safe and rest of your evening and a positive rest of the week. Thank you. That adjourns our meeting this evening.